Ardolfo, maintenance welder. Ahmad Sokri, draftsman. Okay. Ernesto, okay. Regan, your Regan. Ikaw, sir.
Rodolfo, sir.
Rodolfo, okay, kasi R din ang ano simula. Okay. Ito na. Okay. So let's proceed our safety induction. But before starting, let's know the purpose of safety. Okay. So in your own point of view, what is safety? Mr. Regan. Regan pala ito.
Safety is the way of life in the plant.
Hmm. Okay, that's correct. Okay, what else? You, Mr. Regan.
I am Mr. Ryan.
Mr. Rodolfo. You're Rodolfo, right? Okay. In any words, in your opinion.
Safety is saves life.
Yeah, that's good. That's the number one purpose of safety. The safety department will protect the life of the people, will protect you from harm, from any injuries. And secondly, we need to protect the properties and the facilities and all about the property and resources of the company. That's the main purpose of the safety department. Only secondary, the compliance, legal compliance to the government. Okay? To follow the requirements. All of this will be to prevent incident and accident. Because if the incident and accident will be coming, so there will be a lot of losses, financial costs, like that, and so many claims will be given, and then of course their target profit will be reduced. So things like that issues. So as much as possible, we need to maintain the safety performance. That's why safety is created. Okay? Now, we go to the safety orientation requirements. So, what are the two requirements in safety orientation? Anybody? So, ako na lang. Okay, or ako mismo. Okay, we need to be physically fit. Okay, and healthy. Both in mind and body. Okay, before working. Okay, and then number two, we need to have safety orientation. Okay, so that you will know the safety rules and regulations to follow. Okay, so you will be guided of what are the safety acts or safe acts or safe conditions in your workplace so that you will be safe. Things like that. And we will be teaching also you guys to clarify and to communicate properly, and that is your right before starting the job. If there is any harm, if there's any danger, you have to talk. You have to voice out, sir, this is gonna be not good anymore. So can you give us a favor to provide this, because we are not safe if you will try to do this kind of operations or processes or whatever. Okay? According to your scope of works, things like that. So that's the purpose, and that is based on OSHA standard Safety and Health Act of 1970. That's the basis for OSHA standard, and all over the world we are adopting that guidelines from the OSHA Act, especially the Middle East and the Asia. Though the Philippines we are having our own safety requirements, but still parent OSHA standards really guidance, parent safety requirements. Okay, that's gonna be like that. So we go now directly to the safe system of work. So what are those safe system of works in your understanding? Your experienced people, right? Based on your construction experience, what are those safe system of work to follow so that your group will be safe?
Wear proper PPEs. Wear proper PPEs.
Yes, correct. What else? Give any opinion. You can have
Use
correct
PPE.
already. This is number one. Okay.
Use PPE. PPE one, sir.
PPE, okay. Okay, you are right. So PPE is the basic step to do first, because that is really cutting or minimizing the hazards exposure from the site. Okay, so the helmet, okay, helmet, safety glass, like this, safety shoes, ears, air plugs, like this, the air plugs, okay, okay, like this. So take note, in our plant process area, the noisy areas are the power plant, above 90 decibels. Be careful when you go there. So as much as you could, you will wear the ear muff like this. Okay, so you will be damaging your eardrums if you go to the power plant. And also in the cement mill, in the raw mill is very noisy. So you have to take the earplugs or this. It's up to you. Okay, then you can withdraw all of these things to the warehouse. Okay, things like that's for the PPE. So obviously, I need to state a little bit, okay, for the prevention, ha? Okay, so for the head, that is for the head hazards. What are those? Falling objects like this, flying solid particles or sharp particles that could hit your head. So we prevent head injury. So very obvious that the word itself, okay, it will describe the hazards, it will protect you, right? So safety glass, so that's the eyes. So safety of the eyes, okay? So flying particles again, objects like that, dust, debris, everything, okay? Or splashes from the chemicals also. You need to wear the safety glass. And then the safety shoes also. For the safety shoes, sharp objects in the ground level, nails, protruding bars, steel bars, what else? The broken glasses, and of course, the grounding electrocution of underground cables, right? Okay, it protects. Because once we will obtain these safety issues, it meets the specifications of electric shock requirements. Okay? Specifications. Total package when we try to request that to our supplier. Okay? We need to protect from the electrocution. Okay? Hand gloves. Hand gloves for handling pipe, right? So handling pipe, my friend, leather gloves are necessary. Okay, for like this only, like this, or you can use the cotton gloves. Okay, get the point. But for metallic objects, you need to use the leather gloves. And for the chemicals handling, you need to use the rubber gloves or the neoprene gloves or the PVC type gloves. Okay, or chemical gloves generally. You get the point. Things like that. That's for the gloves. What else? The full body harness. Okay, full body harness is a special PPE. You have to wear that one above 1.8 meters high. Okay, especially if the work platform is not complete and not adequate, things like that. Okay, especially if you require scaffolds to do your job at height. Okay, things like that, especially at shutdown operations. But normally, we are operation, we have permanent platform already. We have the guardrail, we have the mid rail, we have the two plate, we have the gratings, like that. We have already that one in our plant process area. But for work that requires over exertion, like this, or too much movement, that you will go beyond from the handrail, that's the time we will need the scaffold work platform, and your supervisor will plan that properly before proceeding the job in combination with the appropriate work permit for that. Get the point? The things like that. Okay, now we will, that's PPE. Now we go to the permit to work. So we have job that required permit, and we have job also that doesn't require permit, two types. So for the job that doesn't need permit, those jobs that doesn't require hazards that much, or meaning to say doesn't produce heat ignition sources like that, okay, or doesn't require critical operations, that is low risk job or cold work job that involves only the feet, the hand, without the tools, without the equipment, things like this, huh? Okay, and we have the permit required jobs a lot. But to make sure, so let's abide to make your group safe. You will follow the permit to work system, even though that is a low risk. Then you have to also obtain permit to protect your people. Baden, or maybe tomorrow you need an equipment. For now, not yet needed. So you have to advance that. I should make a permit first, even though this is not really a very hazardous job. Things like that. But normally they will do that. Okay? You got to, except for the cleaning, the simple cleaning only. The labor, they don't have the permit to work. But for the permit to work, we will classify that as hot work permit, okay, and the cold work permit. As I told you, cold work that requires hazards that much. Okay? You get the point. So we have the scaffolding activity, the confined space, the hot work, grinding, cutting, brazing, soldering, like this, okay? And then working in the live cables or in the electrical posts, okay? Working in the energized equipment, running equipment, okay? Rotating and also stationary work equipment. And you have to be careful for that because it required work permit. You get the point? So, work permit procedure, your supervisor, sorry, will go to the safety department, okay, to get that permit. Okay, but prior to that, I don't have to discuss this because this is your job. You need to do a lot of preparations actually. Preparation, the logistics, materials, resources, because you cannot perform your job without resources, right? And the materials. That's the first thing to do. But including the checking of your workplace. Okay, what to check? Very easy. Okay, the condition of the workplace, the lighting. Okay, how clear is that you can move properly? Okay, obstructions. Okay, flammable chemicals and combustible materials that have the chance to create fire and explosion. For example, gas cylinders. Usually the welding group have gas cylinders, right? So that's gonna be the second issue there. You get the point? So meaning to say, clearing the area is equivalent to total housekeeping. You get the point? From anything. Okay? After clearing that one, then the supervisor will walk to the safety office. So confident already that he checked already all the hazards in our checklist here in our GSA, and also the control measures reflected in the permit here. So very confident already. So no more issues regarding the safety. And then come here, and then I will type everything. I will check everything like this, and I will declare that in the database, and then we will do the joint site inspection together with you. And if I approve, then I will sign it. If I don't approve because so many missing safety requirements, then hold for a while, follow this requirements. If you encountered problem, then we can help you like that. But if it's easy to follow, then you have to follow it mandatorily, or meaning to say with obligation, things like that. You get the point? That's about permit to work. Okay, any question? Okay, so very clear. You have to read only because we Filipinos very clever how to write, how to read. Just follow. Okay, check like this. If you don't know, then ask the safety's guidance how to fill up this PTW form properly and accurately. Okay, you get the point. Things like that, and that's PTW. Okay, now for the working at height, usually you will be working at height during shutdown and maintenance operations. Then you need to have the safe working platform. Okay, that's the first fall protection system, and the secondary fall protection system will be the wearing of full body harness. That's the requirement from OSHA. You get the point? So things like that. So two regular, adequate working platform and full body harness above 1.8 meters high. Okay, you get the point for the working at height, but still, again, permit will be there. Okay, now after you have now the permit, what is the next step? You have the permit. Then you need to do a briefing, work safe instructions briefing, in which you will put that in your meeting, daily alatul, things like that. You can have 2 to 3 minutes, as quick as possible, as long as you can discuss about safety. Because if you will not talk about safety, somewhere along the way, the safety officer will check your site. It will create disturbance and delay with your progress. Too much girgir, too much talking, like why you did not do this, and you are checking the control measures here, and it sounds to be perfect, things like that. Okay? You get the point. So it's gonna be like that. Okay? So, good morning, sir. So this is from
Mr. Joel.
Mr. Joel from Power Plant.
Yeah, I'll bring Victor now.
Okay, so from Power Plant, kindly fill up this induction. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, I'll bring also another person. His name is Victor.
Make it one time already, okay?
I'll bring now.
Okay. So later you will just catch up. Sir, ano ka? Cebuano?
Hindi, Tagalog ako.
Okay, Tagalog ka, sir. Okay, so madali lang. Okay. This is gonna be like that. So for the safety declaration, sorry, later. Okay? Like this. So TBT. TBT na tayo. So have your eyes here. So TBT. So what are the importance of TBT? The content of the TBT or the toolbox talks, or safety briefing before starting the operations or the scope of work. Sorry. So what are the contents for this? Okay. Okay, I'll be the one. Okay, the TBT according to the OSHA standard don't have time limit. Okay, you can have 30 seconds as quick as you can, as long as you will do it straightforward. No more pasakali, things like that. No more decorations of the contents in your mouth. As long as it is straightforward, direct to the point, so that it is part of your obligation. That's why the connotation or the saying safety first, that came out because of the OSHA standard, OSHA Act of 1970, that it should be prioritized before anything else. Get the point? Things like that. So how can you make your people safe work if there's no safe instructions given, okay, prior to commence the job? So you should receive safe instructions. Okay. Or if you know already, share that with your team that doesn't know already yet the proper way of doing the job safely. Things like this, okay? You get the point? And then all of you guys will sign here like this. So they're submitting, see? A lot every morning, things like this. So we are controlling that one because during audit, the government will check. Did your safety department communicate the safety rules and regulations, okay, the safety importance, how to operate safely in your plant? Or give me evidence, things like that. You get the point? And we cannot show evidence, and then they will try to, cease operation according to the requirements. They will bring checklists also every time they will like this in our plant. Like this, they will rounding and check the requirements. If we will not meet, problem. Okay? So it's gonna be actual and documentation. When we mean of documentation, recording, reporting, and filing, such like this. It's here, okay? Get the point? So, meaning to say, the actual scenario must match the documentation. Okay? So it should be balanced. That means it is working effectively. Okay? So in that way, you can improve your performance, safety performance, and then there's a little bit of continuous improvement. Okay? Later on, if we found something missing, right? For the improvement. Okay? Things like TBT is very important. Now, if, for example, if your job is welding like this inside the cyclone, cyclone equipment, so it's gonna be a confined space. So you have to take note, hot work, confined space, like that. Okay, since our company is having a simplified and integrated form of permit to work system, we have a checkbox type of permit to work system in which the scope of works are being mentioned here, all from 1 to number 10. All you have to do is to tick it out. For example, if you are working inside a confined space, find confined space here. There's various sentences. Okay, check, like that. If 3 job found here, check. Okay, now if not found, it's in letter number 10, others, and specify the work of scope, because not all the time will be reflected here also in some situation. Okay, special job during maintenance, during shutdown, so not mentioned here. Now go to the part B, control measures. Check it out also the requirements here. Safety, for example, we have working in confined space, or potential hazards assessed and identified from any danger. Did you check? Nothing. So don't put yes, because problem, accident happen, you will be questioned. And then if that is a major injury and accident, they will be terminated. Okay, things like that, because you cannot justify. You are checking, but you're not doing. Get the point? Things like that. And through paper, we can calibrate your performance. Meaning, we can check, okay, through evidence and proofs. If here in this company or all over the world, it's not enough verbal. It should be documented, everything black and white. You get the point? So remember this all the time. Maybe you will come back again me later after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years. You will come back to me later. No more, because I discussed that already to you. I told you from the very beginning, black and white documentation, save your part first by papers. We understand we are working with different nationalities and the culture is not very strict sometimes also. A lot will, but do not be carried over to those people because you will be in trouble later on. Save your first, yourself first by doing the documentation. Okay, because there's a lot, we encounter a lot of warning letter, we issued warning letter there, warning letter there, 50% deduction, 50% deduction like that. Because, you know, one Filipino and Arabic, things like that. If the Arabic will say, the Arabic die safety officer will say, this one, I catch Mr. Reagan, take photo. So I cannot defend anymore. You get the point. I will check the photo and I will issue the warning letter. Through photo, no need to verify on the site because it's very clear the unsafe act and unsafe condition. What I'm trying to say, there will be an explanation, right? If you will go there, why you do that. You got the point, why you become unsafe. There will be a little, for example, because the supervisor told me to do this, like this, blah, 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 so and so, this is a pressure job, like this, like this. In safety, it will not be considered valid. You get the point? Still a mistake. You get the point? That's why I told you a while ago, right? Remember that you need to talk and clarify and communicate prior to start the job with regards to safety so that you will not be harmed and you will not be in trouble. You will not be got injured later on by your unsafe act and your unsafe conditions because it cannot be denied all the time. It will be coming like that, especially if your supervisor is, I think all nationalities will be like this also, but you know, some have no education and some, the leveling of education is not high. You get the point? Some are not educated, some are educated and they're just promoted through service, long service in the company. Then you will be in trouble sometimes, things like that. Because they are, then you know the procedure, then pindutan mo siya. Then, sir, we have permit for this, and then he will listen to you. Or you can bypass a little bit, go to your supervisor, and then go to your director. Okay? Like that. You get the point? Things like that. So a lot na talaga siya will be in trouble. Okay? Some are terminated just because of paper issue. Oh my gosh, only paper. You get the point? So, things like that. Okay. Very clear, ha? In the permit to work system. Okay. Now, TBT, permit to work system, you know, we discussed already the PPE. And now we go to the safety rules and regulations. So what are the basic safety rules and regulations you understand? Can you give and cite examples? Mr. What's your name? The paper? Okay. You gave me already. Okay. Okay. Mr. Ahmad Sokiri. Okay, like that.
Rules and regulations.
Give at least 2 or 3 examples of rules and safety rules and regulations to follow, in your own opinion. I'll give you an example. Welding activity. So what are the rules and regulations for you, huh?
For example, welder.
Wearing the eye and face shield. Okay, correct. What else? Okay, okay. He's correct.
Ensure direct grounding.
Okay, yeah, grounding system. Okay, so that will be all correct. Aside from that, fire extinguisher, huh? You need to put fire extinguisher, fire extinguisher. Okay, fire blanket if you work above 1.8 meters. Okay, like that. The welding hood for the welder, and then check the guarding of the cutting machine, the guarding of the rotating disc. You know disc? Check. Because sometimes they will remove the guarding. Okay, can create finger injury. We have so many finger injuries also cases in our plant. Okay, things like that. These are the requirement: guarding system, grounding system, fire prevention of fire blanket, fire extinguisher, things like that. Okay, and of course the very popular housekeeping. We remain of housekeeping, meaning to say you need to segregate the flammable materials from heat. Okay, because if there's heat and there's flammable materials, the chance is it will ignite. You get the point? So you need to look for the ignition sources and the flammable materials, and also these combustible materials, papers like that. So it will goes back to proper housekeeping. You get the point? So before starting this, especially if hot work activities. But it doesn't mean only hot work activities you need to do housekeeping. All scope of works will need housekeeping. Okay? Because not only the fire hazards will be there. Example, slip, trip, and fall hazards. When you walk and there's a cable in the floor, you will be like this. Or if you walk also in the upside and you don't cover the opening on the platform, and you will fall also downward. And falling, don't expect only injury. Sometimes will die at a very high. You get vertical distance, things like that. You got the point? So from the ground. Okay, be sure it will be covered all. That's why I tell you, before starting the job, clear the area first. Before writing on the paper. Because this is just a piece of a paper for legal documentation. But what can save us is the actual scenario. The actual, but we see by our eyes, we hear, we touch. This is only paper. Paper has no life. Get the point? Paper is non-living thing. Okay? So we are living thing. We have life. So how can this correct you? This even cannot walk in actual. But this can save us legally through the court or documentation during accident investigation. You get the point? Things like that. Another new guy. Okay. Okay. Take your seat if there is still a seat available. Okay, kindly fill up. Okay, so actually I heard stories like this. I receive only reports. Actually, I don't know that there are new coming. Okay, but since I need to, if you are working in a safety department, you have that passion to help other people also because that is your profession. Okay, you got the point? Things like that. Okay. Because this have extra, right? So your schedule today is only safety, right? Okay, you don't have to worry, right? Just tell me if you have another schedule today and I will be interrupted. Or you will be interrupted, sorry. Can I get this one? Yes. This is your safety declaration. Okay? Kung sobra. Ay, andito. Okay. I'll manage to talk with English because anytime the Arabic people will come in, okay, and it's not allowed to use the, like this. So the story is like that, okay. So this is an office. This is not a training room, okay. So if I try to mix with another language, they will interpret in another way around. You get the point? So they will think these other people, these other nationalities. Okay, we need to. English is our language. I will mix a little bit. Okay. Bisaya pa lang, madali ra kayo, no? Okay. So, I mean, I can mix easily because my Tagalog is very, very hard. Okay, and accent. Okay, so sometimes I cannot, and there are terms in Tagalog that I cannot understand easily. The deep Tagalog. You get the point? Things like that. That's why, yes. That's why I rather talk in English. Sorry, ha? Okay. Kalas. This one is, where's the other one? Guy coming? You have the safety declaration already in your hand? Check. Not yet, huh? Okay. There's an extra. Extra. Yes, extra. Okay. This one. Okay, let's continue, huh? Okay, TBT, PTW, what's this? Okay. Permit to work. Okay, now we go to the job safety analysis or the job hazards analysis. So do you understand that? Job hazards. Anybody have an idea what is this all about? I can only give you the brief understanding for this. Again, Regan. What's that one? Oh, Regan.
Job hazard analysis, sir.
Ah.
JHA. JHA is composed of a particular job assignment, then the hazard of it,
Mm.
and how you will control the hazard.
Yeah, very good. Okay, that's gonna be like that. He summarizes quickly, but that is a straightforward, understanding for GHA. Meaning to say there is a hazard identified, and you have to correct that by having your control measures, so that the people will work properly and safely to avoid incident and accident, but in the form of paper. Okay, some will say they do that already, but no paper. By only eyes, verbal, saying the people like this. That's already a risk assessment or job hazards activity. Only that not converted to paper. You get the point? So we need really to be converted to paper. You need to put that in the paper. Okay, so our legal documentation. Like this. This is hot work risk assessment. So you need to get this hot work risk assessment attached with the permit here. Okay? Here, see? So this is an attachment. Now, if you do excavation, there's also like that excavation risk assessment checklist. Like the excavation. Okay? You get the point. Mechanical excavation. So that's gonna be like that. So risk assessment. Okay? So literally, risk assessment and job safety analysis is just the same. The only difference is that risk assessment is we need to quantify the leveling of the risk. Low, medium, and high. But in the job safety analysis, we don't need to consider that one. We need to go directly step by the job. For example, you select the type of job, welding, and then you need to break down the job steps. 1, 2, 3. Each step has its own corresponding hazards, and that hazards have also its corresponding controls. So, step 2, again, you need to have the hazards corresponding control measure until step 10. For example, you have step 10. So that will be comprises your job safety analysis. But you don't have necessarily to rank according to the severity. But the risk assessment have low, medium, and high. So that's why they push the risk assessment, because it's easy for the management to evaluate how risky, because if that is very risky, then they have to buy this equipment to make it properly safe the people. We need to provide you safe plant equipment, safe materials, safe resources, safe technology, safe tools, safe working place, so that they will know. Because not all the time we can produce what is available in our site. Sometimes they have to buy it in order for the people to be safe. One example is the engineering control measures. For example, you are working in a very hazardous gaseous atmosphere environment. Then they need to provide you a proper ventilation, or let's say a hood, a fume hood, to release the gases inside the confined space or any vessel that you work, right? So that needs cost. You get the point? Things like that. Or for example, if you are using asbestos in insulation, let's say cladding and insulation, so you need to change asbestos to something else which is not really hazardous compared to asbestos. Then you have to buy another material that is not hazardous to the health, because asbestos is cancerous. Okay, things like this. So not all the time what is available will be our corrective measure. Sometimes we have to need to buy this control measure. You get the point? Things like that. For example, also, if the machineries are very noisy, it could be an evidence that it's gonna be having a problem if you heard a noise too much, and accompanying with also the vibration. Usually, they're complementary with each other. If there's noise, usually there's also vibration. If you found out that your equipment is already under abnormalities, you get the point. That's the two criteria you will watch it out. Then the company will do the preventive maintenance out of that. Okay, usually he would assign their mechanical technician or electrical technician to solve like this, blah blah blah. Then if they found out there's really a defective and damaged parts out of it, then they will have to list, because they have to buy that materials again in order to be functional safely, that kind of machine, because it can create accident also to the operator of that machine if it doesn't work properly. Okay, that's only parts. What if the whole unit of the equipment will be damaged? So that's the time they need to replace with new equipment for 100% safe. Things like that. Okay, and not only that, if they found out also that the operator handling that one doesn't know how to perform that kind of machinery, then we have to assign a competent person, knowledgeable person to operate that machine, because it will be damaged again. You get the point, because he don't know how to operate that machine. So training will be there. Okay. So the thinking is like this. You get the point. For example, if I have an obsolete stationary equipment, let's say example, only because I'm not a mechanical engineer. By the way, I'm a chemical engineer. I'm not mechanical engineer. Sometimes I can only read, study, research a little bit. And through experience, I learn some. But my expertise is really on chemicals. Okay? Things like that. So, for example, equipment there are already damaging the rotating equipment. What you will do if you are assigned there, Mr. Ernesto? Sorry, Mr. Ernesto. If the rotating equipment are damaging, what you will do? Damaging already when you do the job, in your routine job.
First, we will check the power supply the motor.
Okay.
In our plant, with the lockout, tagout.
Okay. Okay, that's
we report to our foreman or supervisor.
okay. So very good. So he's correct. We will need to perform lockout and tagout, what we call the de-energization and shutdown of the power resources. Okay. The importance of low 2 is when you shut down the power sources or the mechanical lines. You get the point? Like there's a blinding, right, for the mechanical. There's two way of isolation, right? The isolation in the part of the electrical and isolation in the part of the mechanical. Isolation in the part of the mechanical are usually the pipelines with a lot of, valves. You get the point? Spectacle blinds in point to point. You get the point? And the valve, you have to lock the valve so that it will be physically disconnected. That's part of isolation. But in the electrical, another story, they are dealing with the electricals, the electricity. Okay? So, when you shut down that, there's still a residual energy left behind in that pipeline. So that's why you need to drain it fully. For example, if it is chemicals running in the line, in the pipeline, you need to drain it fully, that there will be no residual chemicals left. Because once you open that, it will like that, and the people will be suffering from injury. So that's the purpose of LOTO. Still also the same with there's residual current remain in the line. So it will like this also. So you need to fully isolate the system, and that is LOTO. So in our company, we need to follow this permit to work. This is our LOTO form. Okay? And you need to sign this if you're for the electrical and or mechanical isolation. You get the point? So this is our LOTO form. You cannot start without this because you have to shut down the system, the power source like this, blah, 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 so okay, like that. So you need to follow that. LOTO can save lives also. You get the point? And very damaging to our environment, people, and equipment. Okay, that's for the LOTO. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far? We discussed already the PTW, the PPE, the risk assessment or job safety analysis. So, any question? Nothing? Question. Now we go to the most important. We have the emergency response procedure. Okay, and then the incident and accident reporting. So these two are always elements of the safety program. Okay, this will be checked by the government. So in our emergency response procedure, we have already the procedure, we made it. Okay, in our emergency response procedure, only basic things to follow. Okay, if you hear an alarm, okay, stop your job, okay, and shut down the power sources of the equipment. If you are working with the equipment, if you are not, then no need to worry. Okay, evacuate safely. If you can see like that, look at that, exit, go to the emergency exit door, and do not panic, do not run. If you are in the ground level, okay. But if you are in the elevated area, you should not use the lifts and the elevators because you will be stuck up because it is driven with electrical wirings and everything. Then it will be also, especially fire. If it will not operate, then probably you'll be trapped there. Do not use elevator. Use the stairways. Okay, but again, do not run. The more you run, the more you'll be injured. You will fall. Okay, you are trying to escape the impact of the fire, but you will fall on the ground. Things like that. You get the point? So use only the stairs. Okay. Now, after that, go to the safe assembly point. Okay. Safe assembly point very near to your area. You get the point? And after that, there will be a head count of the people, group by group, mechanical team, QC team, like this, blah, 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 and then counting how many. Now, if there are people missing, why missing? Because you as a supervisor knows where are the people missing. So you have to find out and call your manager. Sir, there's gonna be missing like this, blah, 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 so and so. We need to retrieve them because maybe they are, they are caught by the structure, collapse building structure, then problem. Okay? We have our ERT team to do that. And if you cannot make it, we need to call the city, Al-Muzamia City Emergency Response and Rescuers to help that out. Because we don't have the full resources. We have our internal, but not enough. Especially if too much big already, the emergency. Things like that. Okay, now, the incident commander will come and have an announcement while you are in the assembly point. Okay, he will say, clear or not clear, something like that. If not clear, he will tell you something, go back to the camp because the emergency is not yet solved. Go back to the camp, like that. And then if again it's not solved, he will try to communicate the government to relocate that to another place where more safe. For example, the emergency is a bomb attack or terrorism. So this is massive effect. It's not controllable by just having only fire extinguisher or whatever, fire truck or anything, or stretcher. It's a massive. The effect needs the guidance of the government. Okay, let's go to the next level. The incident commander will say, we will go now all to the Muzamia city for rehabilitation of our people. Things like that. Okay, and again, not solved. That's the time they will repatriate all of us to go back to our country of origin. Because the emergency cannot solve anymore. But what any means? You get the point? It cannot be solved. Since we are not permanent in this country, they will set us go back to our place if the emergency is uncontrollable and cannot be solved. You got the point? For example, tsunami, tidal wave, earthquake, tropical cyclones, a very heavy typhoon. Though these things cannot be happening here, but we don't know, right? Things like this are emergency. But if the emergency is fire and explosion, it's very easy to manage. We have the fire truck. We can stop immediately. Okay, things like that. Or by the fire hydrant or the water sprinklers, like that. Or by the foam fire extinguisher. Easy. So, the other way announcement is not the same. The incident commander will say, okay, it's already safe. Go back to work. Already clear. That would be good in our part directly. Right? Okay, but we cannot expect most of the times like that. We don't know. Only God knows things like that. You get the point, especially due to the state wars between neighboring countries like this, and you know the issue of territorial boundaries, state to state partnership. There will be trouble. We will be affected because we are inside their country, and this is reality. You remember Oman, Papua New Guinea, things, Iraq. They will be or quiet. Things like that. It could be happen also in Saudi Arabia. Things like this. You get the point, and that is emergency response procedure. Now for the incident and accident reporting, it's very easy, huh? Very easy.
Good morning, how are you? Welcome.
Welcome again.
Welcome again to Saudi Arabia.
Now our last topic is incident and accident reporting. Okay? Okay.
This will be the problem? Yeah.
Any question, ask them also, huh? This is our safety officer, Mr. Sod. Mr. Sod, anything you can talk to them?
No need. By your language, it's very better to talk to him, everything.
Okay?
No problem.
Last incident and accident. Okay, so if you see incident and accident, what you will do, Mr. Where's the attendance? Mr. This is my problem also, things like this. I'm very old, right? It's here. Okay, Mr. Joel Del Merced. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That question. If there's an incident, accident, what you will do? For example, if you're walking on the street and there's somebody RCC wearing like this and found blood in his body, what you will do first?
We should report, sir, immediately to the safety officer or
Okay.
supervisor in charge of that guy.
Correct? What else? Okay. The first thing is reporting. Okay? Correct. But you are not allowed to touch and to rescue because you will be in trouble. They will put to you that you are the one who injured him. That's the procedure in KSA. You get the point. Report by phone. Okay. Fire station 1900. That's emergency response. 1900. Okay. But this emergency response contact number is posted in the clinic, in the administration building, technical building, like this. So you can find anywhere. Just phone book that. Anytime there's a fire, you can call. But then, if you know how to stop the fire immediately, then stop it. If you know how to stop it, if you are trained. If you cannot do it, then do it. Of course, you're not forced to do that. Call immediately. For example, the fire is only like this, very small. Then sometimes you can stop that by having the rag. Tagalog, hindi ko alam. A cloth that moist with water a little bit, you cover that. It will stop immediately. Don't make issue if the smell is very small. Okay? But still, you have to report to safety because for record purpose. So that we can prevent. That's only the purpose there. Okay? So because maybe you did not see that, nobody see, and it will become big. That situation is different. You see, right? What if nobody see? Normally, it will become big. Because nobody stop, common sense. You get the points that we need to report. And to safety department. Okay? Very clear. Now, it depends on the type also of the incident. If that is a fire, then you have to report to the fire department, right? If that is injured, you have to report also to the clinic immediately. The purpose of reporting to the clinic so that the injury will not delay. It will not lose his breath and then he will die on the spot. So, call clinic first, not safety, and later safety. Because safety is same. He is not a doctor. He is not a nurse. How can, for example, me, how can yes, I can do reporting, but it would be better directly to call the nurse. So, 1962. Things like that for our nurse and clinic. Somebody is injured, but don't touch anything. Things like that. So there's a difference. Accident and incident without injury, and accident and incident without injury or with injury. With injury, clinic first, second safety. Okay, without injury, safety directly. You get the point because the clinic has no contribution to that. Okay, you get the point. So that is for incident and accident. Now, it should be done quickly. Immediately when you see, within 24 hours. That's the procedure. Okay, like that. So if you are RCC, you see an RCC, then of course you need to make an initial incident notification after you see, right? You said you call, right? You also make an email to your boss. Sir, like this. That is verbal communication apart from the, written communication, documentation that you did your job when you see that. Because sometimes also, they will try to blame you because you see and you did not do anything. Things like this, okay? It's better you have to document that also with email. Email incident notification. Things like that. You get the point? So two things. Verbal calling and emailing through mobile phone or computer. Of course, first is calling. Okay, you get the point? Like that. Okay? So anybody knows how to use your account like this? You can do by your personal account or your by company account.
We don't have yet.
Huh?
We don't have yet.
If you don't have, then use your personal account. You send to your manager. Okay? The Google, gmail.com, it will be accepted also because our company email is linked to Outlook, Google. So it's just the same. If you will be using our personal, they will receive, we can accept things like this. Okay, that's for incident accident. That's secondary only, huh? We will use really the calling. This Avaya. This is the use of our Avaya telephone. Okay. If Avaya telephone would not work, then our phone. Things like that. Okay? So ERT will be there. ERT, Emergency Response Team. ERT. Okay? Things like that. That's for incident and accident reporting. Okay? Do not hold the incident. Why I said do not hold or do not hide? Because problem will come. If you will hide it and it will intensify, it will grow later on. For example, if I have a wound here, very small, and you hide, okay, then later on it will become a tetanus, okay, and then by then it will cut your finger. So why you did not tell the clinic, and it will not be a record to the government. If you tell that immediately to the safety, then there's no problem. Okay, get the point. It will become big later on. So you need to report. That's first aid incident. Minor injuries should be reported. If we report the near miss, how much more the first aid injury we will report? If we cut our finger, no, not cutting, only small scratch there in the process area. You got the point? Okay. Now, I will teach what the limitation of when to report and how to report. Okay, you cannot report if you found the accident in the main road of Saudi Arabia. That is not work related. For example, if you see an accident there, that's not your job to report. But if it is an RCC, you can report that by your own help. But what I mean, we cannot report legally by recording in our company like this because that is not work related. That is covered by the government. For example, simba ko lang, if I'm injured there, so the covered will be the government and the insurance. Okay? So it will not be recorded in our accident because that is non-work related. It happens outside the vicinity of your plant and in the camp. But if you're in the camp, still covered by the company, of course, but it will not be recorded in our incident. As for example, there's an injury in the camp, so that is not work related because he is only sleeping like this and listening music and batting the object fall and injury here. Okay, so that type of injury, he cannot work anymore. Okay, supposedly LTA, lost time accident, right? It will not be recorded because it happens in the camp. Okay, so what will be recorded is work related in the camp. For example, you are electrical and you are assigned in the maintenance in the camp. That is part of your job. So that would be recorded. For example, you are injury there. Since you are assigned in the camp for the maintenance, that's really recordable. But if you are only like that, you are resting only like that, and you are accident, that's not part of your work. You are resting, right? That's not recorded. Okay. But if the cleaners, dili-dili ala tol, every day they will clean, that's their job, right? Even though they are in the camp, it will be recorded. Because that's part of their job. It's a work-related. It's not specified their location-related, right? English. Work-related incident reporting. Get the point? Okay. So, plant is work-related all, regardless, anything. Even though you're walking, you're not working. This is what I always explain to the people. Even though you are not working, even though you are sitting, once you are inside the plant, that is work-related. The work-related here is not literal in understanding. You got the point? Word for word. That you are really working. Since you are on the plant, that's part of your 8 hours work. You get the point? You're resting. You are eating. Example, and but then there's a pipe coming to your head and injury. Don't tell me you will not report that because you are not working at the time. You are just relaxing. Things like this. Sometimes they cannot understand. Okay? Needs literal explanation. Okay? Once you're inside the plant, whether you are working or not, that will be recorded. Okay? Even though you're in the toilet. Like this. You are only making urine, right? And you sleep. You are not working at that time, you are only relaxing. Things like that. Okay? That's work-related incident. It will be recorded. And our statistics will become 0. Our man-hours. Our milestone performance. It will be measured properly because this create morale and imaging to our competitors. For example, Saudi Cement, Yamama Cement, there will be a sort of healthy competition by other the same industries. So it will create impact to the government, to the public, the imaging and reputation. Not only that, the legal requirements also. Okay, that's the part. Because the purpose of the safety depot, aside from telling you in the first place to protect from injury, save the lives of the people and property, also legal compliance, right? I mentioned you. So that's also social, economic, and moral. Legal requirements. Social, we, the people. Social. Okay, the society. Okay. We are the society of RCC as one community. Things like that, working in this company. So that is part of the legal requirements. Economic, social, legal requirements. Things like that. Okay? Get the point. Economic with regards to the cost. Okay? Social, to protect you from injury. Get the point? And legal with respect to the government. Okay? Social, economic, and legal requirement. That's why safety department is established. So it's established with purpose. Things like that. Not only controlling for like this so that nobody will die, not only like that. Okay, there's beyond. Any questions so far? Okay, did my English is very fast? Mabilis ba siya yung English ko or okay lang naman? Okay, sige. Okay, no question. Any question so far? Now tell me. But then you will come to me and you, sir, why like this, like this? Okay, our warning letter, things I will mention the warning letter. Okay, the warning letter, we have deduction things like this. 10%, second 30%, third 50%, and fourth will be the whole day. 1 day. For example, you are smoking have a higher deduction. I think 50%. Smoking not in designated area. Okay? And working without permit, 50%. Like that. These are the rules in safety. And you have to follow. For example, how smokers in the air? Smokers, you? For the
First
smoker.
offense, they deduct the salary immediately.
Through, we forward our warning letter to the HR. We forward our warning letter to HR, and then the HR, your mudir will see it, okay, and look at it, and it will go to the HR, and it will be deducted, things like that. You got the point?
First offense only.
Yes, because in our company, there's no, when you commit mistake, there's equivalent percent, 10, 20, 30. There's no warning only. For example, it depends on the degree. For example, you are not wearing helmet for the first time and safety officer come, that automatically 10% deduction from your salary.
No warning.
No warning. This will be all warning letters for against termination. Okay? So this all 10%, 15%, 60%. These are called all warning letters prior to termination.
So what is the category of 10%, 20%, 50%?
10%, 20%. If you commit PPE for the first time, again, doing again, it will be increased until third time. In the same violations, you mean, right? Third time only. Like this. And later, you will be terminated, things like this. Okay. Anyway, we have the document to follow. Okay? By black and white. And we need to scan that so that your manager can see it. Okay? Things like this. But nobody wants that, right? So we'll just follow the basic safety rules and regulations. Kalas. Okay? Like this. You got the point. And then be careful also with reporting with other people, right? For example, you are electrical and the mechanical will chamsa you're unsafe. They will take photo immediately. The culture is here. The culture here is like that. They will try to betray. You know the point. If you are from the maintenance and then they are from the like this, since the safety is always covering a little too much mistakes in their department, so they will also try to photo the other department and you are working at that time. You'll be in trouble because your face will be showing in the photo. Too much. Encounter a lot like that in our emails. Okay? So, especially the electrical team, we will take photo to the mechanical maintenance, but you are only one department. And sometimes I cannot understand, okay? You get the point. So, problem like this also. And somebody also will try to submit photo that you are urine. Guys, maintenance department, there's no proper urination. Okay, I think so, huh? They will urinate immediately to at the back. And then, the Arabic guy take photo and later talk to me, can you do something for this? By direct. So, can I complain? No, I cannot complain because he has an evidence. If I will not do that, I will be also in trouble because I did not do my job. You get the point? So things like that, because you have to urine properly inside. Again, do not urine on the trees, the plants, please. This is a common sense professionally, huh? Inside the toilet only. Because there's times also guilty because of your origin. I know that. But please, inside the toilet, because a lot we receive like this, they take photo. Okay? You get the point. Of course, they will not show in front, only the side and the like this. You know what I mean, right? Okay, so be careful, huh? You get the point. So like this, so many things like this in our reporting system. At least I give you an idea already that you should take care of your own group and yourself. Okay? Things like that. And you have to correct nicely. For example, you working and he working very near with each other and you did not take care at all. Okay? You should speak. You've done your job already, kalas. If you don't follow, kalas, as you did already your part as a safety. Because safety for yourself and safety of others. Okay? Correct immediately na. On the third page of our permit, very clear again. So you will sign here that you agree all. If you don't agree all, I told you again and again, you have to clarify and communicate. Sir, this is not safe. Of course, don't sign on the third page. Because all of you will sign if you agree the job. So here, part F, I fully understand all the hazards and risks involved of this job. And I must ensure the safety of myself and my co-workers before signing. And this is only one sentence, subject and predicate. English. Okay, so it's very easy to understand, right? So by this alone, no need safety to guide you. Okay? With anything we can recognize the hazards, the harm, the danger, right? By our own, what do you say in Tagalog? I cannot explain English. By your own common sense. Okay, what's the Tagalog for that?
Sentido común.
Yes, things like that.
Tagalog yun, di ba? Sorry.
That is what it means.
Malalim.
Okay? Sometimes there are things like that. And there are also sometimes safety thing that cannot be taught, okay, by yourself only. Okay? You get the point? So meaning automatic by saving your life. Okay. Okay. Before ending this one, remember we have only one life. Save your life first. But it doesn't mean you will not help others also. You need to correct them. If they don't listen, leave it. Kalas, you did your part already. Not only for the safety, but also God. You get the point? Kalas. So, I hope you understand this induction. Any question? Okay, nothing. So, you have signed already all? You signed already the safety declaration, right? Give me, and then you can proceed to your own department. Go to your supervisor for your PPE in the warehouse, or go to your admin assistant. He will guide you in the warehouse to give you the helmet for your next schedule orientation, because you will be going to the process area and you don't have helmet for your next schedule of your appointment, right? You have your appointment. So where's your appointment? Is with me. So we need still to sign it. Okay, no problem. Yes, this one. Yes. Go to our manager. Okay, and he will sign. Oh, okay. Like this. This is Ernesto. Go to our manager, sir. Induction finished. And the city engineer said, you have to sign it.
You don't need to make some initial person before we go down.
Before you resign.
Ah.
Okay. Sir, like an initial, sir. That you will know. That you...
Much better.
Doon sa tabi sa application. Saan dito?
You don't have like this, my friend.
Sorry?
You, the other two, don't have like this. Appointment. This is called appointment. You have? No. You also don't.
Should we get in HR?
No. Admin assistant. Your secretary in your department. Kalas. Okay? Go to your supervisor.
Yes.
Yan yung
Mario.
initial.
Right.
Okay.
Bro, kung anong meron sa ano niya, kung saan kayo, alam mo kung ano ba kayo. Mga doubles na yan, sa ano yung, sa may nagdala naman sa inyo.
So when you go to the manager, what did you see? What did you see, my friend? Who's this? For Renan? Regan.
Yes, sir.
Regan, you have 4
Yes,
schedules?
yes. Tomorrow, after tomorrow, and one day.
HEC Kalas, ha? Okay. Hindi,
Oh.
Okay. HEC Kalas. For this individual, I need to sign na lang. Much better. I'll just explain later on. Because he said he's sick.
Kasi yung Joel.
Actually, he will be the one to do it.
Joel din.
But he was sick.
Hindi po ano.
Sir, you need to make like this for your people, ha? May sige na sa email mo? Yun na yun.
Nauna lang po.
Hindi ko naman check pa kayo? Okay. So, this one. So, no other schedule for you? Okay, this is okay. Okay? See, only safety, right? There's no other safety. This is for us, right? Check mo yung email mo. Ha? Yung email mo. Okay.
Sir, your warehouse is inside the plant or outside the
Warehouse? Our warehouse is, sir, Tagalog, punta doon sa ano?
Doon sa malapit dun sa kan.
Doon sa pinagkuhan.
Yan. Sorry po.
Wala pa sa akin din.
They will get now. Thank you. You, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you need to go to the warehouse also or you
Okay.
No, only safety.
Okay. Safety only, that's why I
Punta na
got.
kayo sa inyong department para kuha-kuha kayo ng sinod.
Alam niyo na yun?